Huh. Nobody can see me, can they? Where is my camera? Is this it? Is that it? How come you can't see anything? Maybe you can just hear me. I'm confused. Damn it. What's going on? Trying to do everything proper, like nobody can see me or hear me. Anyway, so this is nothing on my screen except for the symbol of the OBS Studio. So it would seem, click start streaming. URL and stream are missing. Open settings. Oh my God. Jesus. URL and stream key. I don't have a stream key. Where would that be? Open settings. Stream. Connect account recommended. Service. YouTube. Stream key. Show. Get stream key. Get stream key. Get stream key. Why would it open an Internet Explorer for get stream key? Doesn't make sense. But I'm waiting. We'll see what happens. Let's look at this like a learning curve. I might very well be live out there, but I don't know. So let's see. Hi there. Did you know that some sites are no longer working with Internet Explorer? I don't want to make anything. I don't know why it just doesn't go to Chrome to give me this key. Do I have to make Chrome my default? Stream help, studio, YouTube studio. Okay, now here we go. Start sending us your video to go live. Default stream, blah, 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 blah. Stream key, paste it encoder, copy. I want to say reset. Cancel that. We don't want to reset. Okay, copy. Copied. Okay, now we can go over here. Stream key. Paste it. Get stream key. Ignore streaming service setting recommendations. I don't know. Okay. Apply. Okay. I'm really trying to work with you here, YouTube. Connect streaming software to go live. Viewers will be able to see your stream once you go live. I'm attempting to do that. Oh, motherfuck. All right. This is some fucked up shit. Start streaming. Anytime. Anytime. Okay, it's starting streaming, but I don't see anything up there. Let's see if we can get there. There it is. Okay. All right, folks. Now we're off to the races. I don't know if anybody's listening. I'm very much a novice at this right now. This is all new to me. This is my first live stream to the world. So check it here. I've got some stuff I want people to see. Let's begin with this. Is this going to show up there? How do I know if it's on my thing? This is not right, man. How do I get my thing to show up here? I should have researched this. My God. I'm used to recording from my screen, and it shows up here. If you can hear me, great, but I need you to see something. I suck. Hey, do something else and come back in 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Don't want that. No, we don't want that. I don't want camera. I want. Oh my God. How do I? Oh, jeez, man. I just want you to see what I'm seeing, but I don't know how to get it over here. See, like if I've got this up, wait a minute, let's just do something here. Can you see this? Yes, you can see that. Correct? You can see that. So if I go full screen, you'll see that. So I can just do my thing and you'll see that, right? So I'm live. I guess I'm just going to ignore that is going on, and I'm just going to show you this. And I'm assuming you'll see what I'm seeing. So there we are. Okay, I made this yesterday. I found this stone. That's the oldest photograph ever that we know presently. I'm assuming because it came from this stone. 786 years old, dated 1235 AD. This right here says 1235. I found that. This is my blog, okay? I put it on the blog that I use for my organ music, but it's the only thread that's there when you go there. It's the main thread that shows up. There's no space between organs, just electronicorgans.blogspot.com. You're on my YouTube channel. Things. This is done. Okay. Let's see here. I made this last night. Oh, please, come on. What the? I'm not liking this. Okay. Here's something that's interesting. I found the stone in my driveway, April 14th, 2021. I had foot surgery the March 4th, 2021. I had driveway on my crutches. And I'm on crutches. I'm looking at the ground more. And I had one of these thoughts come to me, like a contrived thought. Just, the stupid little thoughts you think of in 5 years and see if I remember this. That kind of crap. Okay. Well, I did it with, I don't even know if it's on the, so I did. And it was nothing. But I'm on my crutches and I pitch it forward. And when I pitch it, it lands. And it lands right next to right here. I picked it up and I thought, this looks like a chunk of blacktop or something with a thing where they put paint on the road. I looked at it closer and down if the resolutions is such where I can, well, at any rate, this is a 4K picture, but I believe I cut and pasted it to make this so it lowered the resolution. At any rate, that has carpet in the background that has the best resolution. Either one is high resolution, 4K, 12. This is the picture I took right away, within like a minute, because I saw a woman in this V here. I have excellent up close vision, like really, really good. And so I saw this woman on here, and as soon as I feline alien, and so it threw me a little bit. So I wanted to see more, so I put it on my computer and when I did, I got this, except for it was black and white. when I opened up GAMP free software, image software, it allowed me to detail, no manipulation whatsoever, just, and lo and behold, there is color. You don't see color. You don't even see most of what's here on that surface. But the way lighting works, that camera picks up way more than we're able to see, you know. And so over time, I'd say 4 or 5 days later, I got it to this point using, I don't even think I used GIMP yet. I just used the internal software in the computer, just Windows adjustment, Windows images adjustments, whatever that's called. Right. So I was able to get this. So here is the Mars woman. I can go ahead and we'll come back to this picture here. I figure if I'm live, I might as well show you everything. Yeah, it's all buried in here a little bit. There's so much to see here. I could probably talk for 10 hours. Just since April, everything that I've been able to see has been astounding. I don't even know if I want to see if any or not. I would probably get scared if you were. Okay. This is kind of nuts. I shouldn't have to wait this long. Usually I don't, but I guess I had it completely closed. Well, let's just pick anything for the time being. Okay, well, here we go. Now we're coming into the world here. Okay. I don't want to do that either. Here is the surface of the stone under a jeweler's microscope. My niece is a jeweler, and so I put this under a jeweler's microscope. It's a macro scope, essentially. So you can see fine detail for serial numbers, etc. Well, as you can see, really nothing on that stone that's visible. This face right here, you can see that better than even this as far as what's on it. And so that I was able to see this. That's what I saw the first few days that I had it. That's what I saw. And so hang on 1 second here. Okay. This is what I saw the first day, her. And I had a mental block. I couldn't see anything else. Statue on Mars, and it looks like this. So I made that connection. There was some other video that the feline was portrayed, or maybe even shown from ancient carvings or whatever. Unique about this is it's photographically impregnated somehow. This isn't etching, it's photograph. It's photographically put on here. It's like a black and white image, right? Like closed circuit TV. Okay. Which indicates an electronic system was involved somehow, but not necessarily. Something I noticed fairly soon after I found this, is there are two squares on top of this O that look like the reflection, like on your tennis shoes, your sneakers, the Nike sign or whatever that reflects back. It has that iridescent rendering, so to speak. I thought, well, let me investigate what's up there with that. And that's when I realized that there was another layer of video, not video, of on top. So by setting the depth field, so to speak, you can, there. So I had a mental block for several days. So I saw her. I couldn't see anything else. I was blind to what was there. And I have a very creative mind that if I see something, I can make it look like something else. That is completely unnecessary with this stone here, or the clouds. What you do to see them, you can do for clouds, for UFO pictures, for stars. My most recent discovery, NGC 2014 Red Nebula. It is 163,000 light years, 973 quadrillion miles, and absolutely huge. I can't remember if the suns of these stars, the brighter stars, which there are thousands of them, if they're brighter, 100 times bigger than the sun. At any rate, they're huge, and they're hot, 100,000 degrees. And cluster of these have images like this woman. She would be a cluster of millions of square miles of stars, which leads you to believe that thought is a lot more powerful than we give credit for. That thought precedes matter, that are closer than material being and happen chance, even developmental stages of existence, evolution is necessary for this material universe. That's what we see. But we are pleasing five senses here. We are converting to our five senses, with five senses. And so there's a limitation there. It's altogether necessary. Let's say we are here temperate, which we can all agree. And that we have a developmental stage from birth to death. And we adhere to certain principles that are givens, even aside from all religion. We adhere to these things. You know, the Pope gets in a car and drives, that kind of thing. We are, I think you know what I'm trying to say. You know, he learned everything in the Navy. He was an engineer. But back then, you could be in the Navy and learn. You can now, too, I'm sure. It was a different time. He taught me electronics, and I know electronics very well from one basic standpoint that I can do a lot of things. I can fix a lot of things that some people, like my brother's full-fledged engineer. At any rate, he has a sign, or he had. And I said, Dad, is thinking a sense? Is thinking a sense? And he didn't know exactly how to answer that. I wish I could remember how he did answer it, because his answers were always great. But that's sort of what made me think of that. Now you see the nebula. I'm sitting here talking about the nebula. You might as well show it. You can always look at the stone on your own if you go to electronic organs. What is in that thumbnail is this area right here. And this is the top, basically. And you see a man up here. Something's right in here. And what's interesting, very interesting, he's got like a red eye and a blue eye. And all through clouds, the nebula, the stone, UFO pictures, there's one thing that shows up a lot. You kind of have to look for it, but it shows up a lot. And it's a pair of spectacles with a little hand, with like a little loop on one edge. So, you know, you clasp it with your fingers so you can look through it. And they put these throughout as if they're indicating you need special glasses to be able to see this. Well, that's true, because much of this you can't see unless you use filtering. High-pass filtering is the key, and there's a way that you use high-pass filtering that I can see how, and you have to have that mind connection to what you are wanting to see. I was able to get this after several weeks of bringing in those other images. I really don't think I would have been able to bring this in on the first day or whatever, even if this was just clowns and stuff. Well, clowns scares some people. But I was able to get this to show up because I realized that there's other settings that you have to use. And there's a lot of patience involved. And so what I'm trying to, what I want to do is take pictures of clouds, things that I have my own source, so there's no chance of copyrights or anything like that. Go out, take pictures of clouds, and then do 15 or 20-minute renderings of them using GIMP. and Taylor app. I use Taylor app. It's online, an online image. I wish I could get the lingo. I hate the word manipulation, like image manipulation. This, I mean, Photoshop, things like that. They have such a sour taste because you automatically think that you're manipulating something. Well, the word manipulation doesn't necessarily mean altering. Well, it does. If you focus an image, that's called manipulation and altering. But if you take that image and you change something about it, besides the coloration and the focus and the gamma and the brightness, the contrast and the sharpness, these things are not manipulating like if you're an artist and changing details. And so imaging software and Taylor app online imaging software are the two that I use. The online imaging software, Taylor app, Taler, it has a better sharpness settings, and it has a few other things that GIMP doesn't have, even though Taylor apps is a lot smaller than GIMP. I hope I'm not boring you to death. At any rate, so I did this. This was the last one I did. In June, I did a UFO. I rendered a UFO. I call it rendering. And so I rendered a UFO, and so let's see here. We have this, and then I was able to get it better. I'll show you that nebula, like I said I would do. There's Jim Morrison. Yeah, on July 3rd, the 50th anniversary of Jim Morrison's dying, I rendered my first cloud. Sure, a couple of them before I did the clouds. Well, if I can do this with UFOs, why not do it with the cloud? And I did July 3rd. And then when I saw an article for the 30th anniversary for the Hubble telescope, on the NGC 2014, and not much of a zoom. And I really didn't even use any imaging software at all. I just zoomed in. I have a harder time. But the more you do this stuff, the more you can just look up at the sky and you'll see letters. You'll see things that you never saw before that are clearly there, to the point where you can look up and say, yeah, that one would be good to render things. Even if it's very ambiguous looking, you just know something's there, like you see letter formations. The sky is full of letters and numbers. Now, here is Nebula NGC 2014, 53,000 light years. That should be quadrillion, not quintillion. Quadrillion is 15 zeros. Quadrillion is a million billion. That's how you can remember that. A billion is 9 zeros, and then a million 6 zeros. So 9 and 6 is 15. So a million billion. And that's an insane distance. If you take $1 bills So when they say $3.5 trillion is actually zero. It's actually zero. They said that last month. You know, we're going to take $3.5 trillion more dollars, and it's actually not going to be anything. Now, regardless of how that's justified, it's insane. Because $3.5 trillion stacked goes all the way to the moon. All the way to the moon. To your 8-foot ceiling. You can buy floor to your 8-foot ceiling. Now imagine that going all the way to the moon. That's just freaking off the charts. So where's this money going, man? I was becoming political. No, actually, I think everybody knows where everything's at these days. You're either, when they're going to catch on, I know if they knew 1/4, they knew 1/10 of what I know by watching my sources, they would be freaking out about believing what's being shown. Or mainstream. Mainstream's catching up with itself. It's absolutely insane, stupid. You lose like 10 IQ every time you watch an hour's worth of mainstream media. So it's catching up. So there's no real reason to be political right now, because you're either with the people wanting to kill us all, or you're not with them. And if you're not sure, well, watch Alex Jones. How about that? Now you're going to shut me off. So here we are at Nebula, or man. They. Do you see they here? Okay, boots, pants, orange jumpsuit or something. Face. A monitor with a little thing here. And then it looks, now something that is very photographs. Everything. Something that's common is you'll look at one thing and it will change to another thing. Not literally, but you'll see it as something else. And clearly, it's not like, oh, well, my imagination's seeing it as this. And then you see another completely different dog. Detail. Like, you know, if you're a good artist and you drew what you're seeing, you'd say, yeah, of course, it's a dog, right? Even the breed. It's that Beauty and the Hag, the old hag and the beauty. It's like black hair. Looks like hair. And then there's the nose and the mouth. Chin line. Kind of deep set eyes. Okay. Now, here's an example of something that I'll watch this video later and I'll think, what are you pointing at, Paul? I don't see anything that you're pointing at. It doesn't make sense. I see something totally different. I know this guy's here because I've seen him before, and that's the guy circled. And I don't see any secondary look of it, but it could be. But many of these do have a secondary look. Like this right here, it's the lower body of There's some controls right here, and there's somebody here. You can see a guy's face like really here. But I've seen that as something else too. But she's very clear. If you're really trying to see it, then this looks like a monitor. You're looking at an angle of seated there. Now one of these bright star there, it's 20 times bigger than our sun. So this is millions of square miles. Our human sense thinks that's unfathomable. It's just maybe because we're looking at, say, another dimension, another layer, just a slight different vibrational plane. So technically, we've got this stuff tuned out. Our bodies are not equipped to handle something like that. But what have we all had in common for the last 15 years? So relegated to 3 channels or 150 channels of programming. We can literally see. And what's funny is during all this censoring, time, because they can't censor the sky. You can't censor the sky. They can mess around with the clouds. Or are they going to mess around with this? Everybody's got their own understanding of what. Are you a believer? Are you an understander? I grew up in Christian. Belief and understanding are kind of 2 different things. Belief is what we do as humans. Understand is what we do in our heart self. So I like to think I understand, but then I like to think too that it's okay to not know. Like I wrote that it's about giving people confidence and not knowing. The confidence comes with not knowing. That's about it. I'm trying to give you some confidence. The confidence that comes with not knowing. You don't have to know everything, but you have to accept things on your own terms, regardless of whether anybody else does or not. I watched a video earlier within the last month, and it's a Canadian woman in her early 20s, and top 10 anomaly type things. And so she's talking about the Kennedy. I said, where is, or whatever. And she said, well, it's pretty common knowledge that Lee Harvey Oswald, that's not common knowledge. The common knowledge now is what disclosed finally in 2016. That's the common knowledge because it's there for everybody to know now. Well, it was there for everybody to know now long ago. It's whether people are willing to want to. In 1988, there was a series from HBO. I think it was HBO. The Men Who Killed Kennedy. And it was 25 years after the assassination. And at the time, there were still several witnesses. One little interesting bit of information here is that people have been getting wiped out long before the Clintons. There's in a short period of time after Kennedy's assassination, of that demographic of age and cause of death, the odds of that happening, of people of that age group being, the odds are something like 30 trillion to 1, something like that, several trillion of these people dying. And the commission wrote about it, that it was Oswald, et cetera, and the word conspiracy theory was pretty much created. I realized that it's really all up to ourselves how we're going to see something. And so I thought, I can't always tell this who killed Kennedy, or the men who killed Kennedy, 10 parts special. I can't always tell if you're lying or not, but I know when you're telling the truth. I know when you're telling the truth, but I can't always. Is that what's the term? What is that term? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. Mutual. So, at any rate, it turns out all these people weren't lying. They had no reason to lie. And so they had a demeanor about them, which was very relaxed and just came through and very natural. And even a little bit of this to finally come to some kind of term within themselves. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to say what I saw, and everybody else be damned. And that's exactly how it came across from all of the filled in the blanks for me. And then there was one anomaly about the whole thing. When I was in 10th grade, I was in study hall in the library, and I was push my chair back and just grab whatever. Well, it just so happened to be the corner of the library with all of the books about mass murder. Foxfire books were there. Foxfire. I always get those mixed up. The book is one, and then software, the browser's the other. There was a picture of him with a gun. What was it? There was like 2 pictures, and in one of the pictures, something like the size of something just didn't seem right. And I always remembered that. I didn't remember the detail. I just remembered that there's something that's not making sense. And sure enough, they've discovered that something to do with his height or something to that effect. It's been because I had taken I just remember drawing a box somehow with on the computer. It kind of like was a horizontal line under his nose and then down. At any rate, it basically just showed that they had messed with these pictures. So I was aware of conspiracy for a long time. Yes, my red pill moment was the Boston bombings. That was my red pill. I don't know, most of you probably remember that you could pretty much throw anything up there on YouTube. And also, I believe that at the time, and so you got pretty much instant feedback from another person. And at the time, I realized that I was just, look, can't you see this? Look, don't you see this? One particular video. No, he would have bled out long ago. You can't push in a wheelchair like that. You can't. You can't just push somebody in a wheelchair after they've had their legs blown off and just push them down the road to get help and then be conscious. You can't do that. That video pretty much sealed the deal for me. I know Owen Schroyer, that was his red pill moment. My future's cut out for me now. Okay, so at any rate, they can't censor the sky. So here we are, and we've got this nebula, and there's many things to see there. Here's a few different things. These you'll see in other places. They're like dwarf type beings, and yeah, little dwarf things, and they seem to sometimes. Here's an interesting one. Some are very clear, like this man's face. It's a man's face. There's one. There's somebody. Yeah, there's that man's face. On that stone, there's many dogs. Lubbock Lights UFO picture. There are two. This one right here, I don't manipulate, but I did a little bit of lighting change. See these glasses? They're like spectacles with a little handhold. Yeah, there's that. And there's another one, which is more visible. I think more visible here. You might see this guy who looks like an early 19th century man, like Einstein or something there. No matter how many times you look at something like this, you'll find something new. There's a guy up here. I rendered that. When I say render, I just mean I this guy right here is not political. I'm just inquisitive. And I like memes. I heard somebody say this. So, and I lost 2 uncles and a friend to remdesivir and bad ventilators. Thank you very much. I sure appreciate that. That really sucked. Considering 54% of Ebola sub here. See how perfect they are? The E, the I, and the I. How perfect they are. Well, on the stone's right. These letters could be perfect unless they were photographically applied to the stone. And that is what they did. Yeah, this right here, it's pretty trippy. There's the Ant-Man body. I think there's a clearer picture here, but he has like a Lego head, you know, the ones that look like a propane tank. The neck, the body. He's got like a lobster claw, round body. And then if you see here, it looks like he's behind some sort of glass partition because it's kind of darker and smoky in there. Whereas this, he or she is standing out here, has a little Z on their shirt. And this right here, it's kind of one of those shapeshifter. Yeah, the old lady and the hag, or the beauty and the hag, I call them shapeshifters. It has a better sound. And you know what I'm talking about when I say it. So there's a little guy right here. You see the guy looking this direction? His chin, his side of his face, his chin, his mouth, eyes, glasses. Glasses are not nose. Just like a little dwarf or something looking that way, yeah. But you look again and it looks like somebody looking right at you, but they've got like some kind of mask on or something. Here's a alien being, eyes, mouth, head. I know there's a better, clearer picture of this. I'm going to find it. Oh, wow. Oh, so now I can just have a slideshow. Heck, I never even knew I could do that. I had no idea. Wow, so I could just let this go and talk as I go. Huh. I have to remember that. Okay. Shouldn't I be able to stop that though? Should be able to stop that. Okay, by inverting this, I was able to see a couple other things. Yeah, I zoomed in on it before. Let me see here. I should, this, I've got this. Can you hear this right here? It's just like the vibrato. I was using it for my guitar. Let me see. Yeah, it's funny. My voice doesn't do it that much. Okay, this right here is the upper right corner of that V right here. Is right here. And here is me. Is it? Or is it not? Isn't this wild though? Look at this guy here. And then this like morphing situation here, transferring from one realm to another. And there's this Michelin man looking guy, and he's got a hand sticking out here, hand coming out like a claw. And right here is like a guy standing in a t-shirt. You see his hair, he looks like he just woke up or something. He's standing in this mist. And here's some sort of a chamber sort of thing. Looks almost like a, what would you call that? Aqualung. Just very wild. Let's get the original picture of it. Need to find the original. Okay. So look at this. Well, this looks like a schoolmaster or something. And then look at this profile here. Looks a little bit like that teenager next to the Ant-Man. Doesn't that profile look a little bit like the same family? And then here's a guy, a magician. These look like letters almost. And he's coming out of here. And he's in this transformation. And then there's this guy, this kid. But he almost looks like there's something unique about his face. If you look, it almost looks like a mouth guard nose. Suddenly he has sort of a pig face. Or he can look like a little boy if you, the feline alien. to the top of her head. And here are some people. Sort of Middle Eastern man. Looks like sort of hat. Sitting at the table looking that way. And then this being here. Then there is this little dog man. Little canine. And then there's patting him on the head. And we have other stuff here. It looks like a man being. I never really noticed this back here. There's like something else back in here. It looks like it has an A on it, maybe. Very interesting, huh? This area here, I've really not been able to get too much from it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. That's kind of interesting. Here is Lubbock Lights. In 1952, in Lubbock, Texas, the photograph was taken. I used, turn off this vibrato. I used high-pass filter to get this far. And you can see a face here. Now I saw it another time and it was something else. You can see different things with different exposures. Like this guy here. This is really cool. I never really. It's like kind of like a robotic body. Wow. If anybody knows any better software out there, I would love to know it if it's there. And then boom, it's big, and it's also quick. I would love to have software like that, because there's some wild. It looks like a large head and a little face, arm. That is on this exposure. Now, this is something else. I forget. This is the Battle of Los Angeles. And this is my first render. You know, this is kind of like what I end up with sometimes. And then I have to see something and make it so that you're able to see it better. And so I'll show you what came from this. I don't want you to see other things yet. Let me find this. I need a better cataloging system. Just have it all thrown together here. Okay, here's Lubbock Lights. And then I'll show you the Battle of Los Angeles. I got sidetracked. Okay, see this here. This is, there's that one face. But then there are other faces. There's this long-beaked Muppet sort of looking thing. And you have to get your eyes adjusted, and then you'll see all in common with something else I'll show you. There are several dogs here. and readily. See his black nose and his mouth. Well, there's 9 different dogs there. And even I can't see them really. I can't see them now because it takes a little time for your eyes to adjust. There's an A, 2. 2s seem to be very common for some reason. Let's continue here. If it's live stream, I should be making this more exciting, and I apologize. Let's find that Battle of Los Angeles. It's very good. It's a good one. It was the second one that I rendered of the UFOs. The first one was Lubbock Lights, and then I rendered the Battle of Los Angeles. And if everything is going smoothly, then I should be able to find it just about when I stop talking. And I'm looking for that situation to happen about any. This really bothers me that I can't see it right away. And that's my fault. I should have things in a folder and a little more rehearsed. My initial reason for doing the live stream was that I was feeling pretty creative musically, and I thought I would just throw up a couple pictures and then sing, ad-lib something. But I've lost a little steam in that department, so I'd rather ad-lib some music or play a song that I already have at a later date. I'm really, I can't believe how many times I haven't been able to find something. This just really bothers me. Now I'm determined. Now I'm determined to find it. I could do a search. Maybe that would work. I doubt it, but I'm going to try. There it is. Okay, so from that one picture, what I did was I had to, what you saw was an inversion of the photograph. I had to, based on a non-inverted picture, and I kind of went between the two. And when I found the thing that I could see pretty readily, I cut it out and I put it in the exact same spot on the inverted page. And out better. And then I circled things. One of the main things that I didn't circle, actually I went in and did it afterward, but I had circled this right here, not even really knowing what it is, but I totally missed this feline alien. And I keep getting these thoughts like, we're not aliens, calling us aliens. Maybe they worked out their pronoun shit long ago. I don't know. So, this feline, E.T., E.T. Is E.T. okay? All right, the feline E.T., you can see your eyes, hair, line, ear, and here somewhere, face. This is a feline E.T. She's on the Battle of Los Angeles, but she's also on the stone. This guy here, he is on the stone. On the other side of Einstein is this guy. And I don't even know if that's Einstein, but that Einstein, or that 19th century man, is almost too hard to deny that's who he is. But the way that he shows up is more unique than how other things show up. There's sort of a common thread about how certain things are presented, like the artist's, the term, the artist's, or whatever. At any rate, with that, it's different than the style of other stuff. So that's why part of my mind says that's just a coincidence that he looks like a man standing there. At any rate, this guy here, very clearly, he's got like a long face, and he's got like a little antenna sticking out of the top. Well, you see the same thing here. You see like antenna coming out of the top in this. But the body appears to be robotic. Can't really see what the body is here. I do think there's like a cloud of smoke or something coming out of the back of that. Very bizarre. In fact, if you really paid attention to this here, then maybe some of that could be, see the little, let's say, see this horizontal, blah, 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 blah. Kind of looks a little similar to this, right? Nah, looks like the same. Okay, well, it looks to me like they're in some. There's a guy in here, standing here. He's got goggles on. And then face here. Two different faces. With a big old grin, big black smile, and black eyes, and a blue, long, clown-like face. Or it is black with two big white eyeglasses and white mouth. One or the other. So you either see the blue face or you see the black face. The black face looks like this guy, which is just the inversion. You're either going to see the same guy, one black, one white, just inversions, or you're going to see white face, black glasses, and blue, crazy smiley face. If you don't see any of that, well, you need some practice. This is weird here. Yes, this is 1942. So I think the Lubbock lights might be 1951. Okay, I rendered this whole thing without even realizing, oh, they're shining on a UFO. That's what all these lights are. For some reason, I had it in my mind that all these lights were coming from that, as opposed to them shining on it. But you know, it didn't stay in the news very long. Which makes me wonder, whenever something of importance comes around that breaks the norm, there's always some society somewhere that puts an end to it, or they ignore it. Maybe for a couple reasons. One, it's time for everybody to know that we aren't just subservient to our material bodies, and that the esoteric life exists to the mind. And it's time for everyone to know this. Destroys things that are good as much as conveys them as good. But the main thing is, if you're not hurting someone else, then maybe you're on the right path. But I think right now it's time that we all know that people capitalize on things. You are a bona fide atheist. You do not believe that anything esoteric exists. You do not believe that there's life after death, that you just came from a clump of cells, and all of the shiftiness of the esoteric, the mental. You don't want to get caught up in all of that. Well, there are many of us, and some of us who have been agnostic and neurotic. And so it's almost like, I want peace by not knowing. I want peace by not knowing. Please, just give me thinkers. And so we think. And now, when people are bullshitting you in the news constantly, and your own family members are dying as a result of it all, that's a little bit. How do I get out of this? Exit. Well, if you're still here, yeah, I would love to make posters and things. I would love to do that. Here is about a 5 meg. As it on its own, it's about a 5 meg picture, which is huge. I mean, it shows up like that big and still clear. So it would be easy to interpolate that bigger and keep its clarity, keep its resolution, just interpolate it. Interpolating means changing everything uniformly. So it's not changing anything, it's just maintaining it as it gets bigger. So you just make it so it's 2 million pixels, and it'll be twice as big. Kind of, you know that the way I hear it, as far as billboard photography, they don't have because for the longest time it didn't have enough detail as far as digital. And so they still used cameras for billboards, which is like, and so now they can use digital. But it was kind of late in the game. Yeah, I thought this, it looks like a cartoon character from the 90s. These guys look like praying mantis. This one's facing that way. He's got like a little hand. And then he's got, you can see the hair on their tentacles or whatever. But what's really odd is that if you go back further, I wish you could get smaller on pictures. But when I first saw it, it looked like Jesus. I have to show you. Goodness. Can I just close all these? Yeah. Open. That's a high resolution photograph there. That's the second one I took. We have that here. I've been on here a long time, so I guess I should probably wrap it up. I made a video that's a little less discombobulated. I don't know if anybody's watching this. I guess I'll go look. Anybody watching? Where do I see if anybody's watching on this screen? Does it say? T103. Where would I see how many viewers? Does that exist anywhere here? How do I know? Not anybody's left a message whatsoever. Probably nobody can see this. If you can see this, say something. Over here. Anybody there? Anybody care? YouTube? Can you throw me a solid? Hello. I'm in infinity. I just want to see if I have any viewers and where would that show up? I don't see it anywhere, which is very frustrating. Because if I just knew that nobody was watching, I wouldn't waste my time. I see nothing here. I see nobody's watched at all. So I've just been talking to myself here. Hey, YouTube, is there a reason why this happens? That nobody sees at me at all? Do I have to pay you or something? Is my title sucky? Part of me is glad, but part of me is sad. Maybe somebody will see it in the future. Long after I'm dead. Well, I guess I'll just have to play a song. I'll put a picture of a rock up here meanwhile. All right. maybe YouTube, and everybody can join in. That's kind of a cool picture. Let's just put it like that. Hey now. You do have my, yes, you can. Well, let's just go ahead and pick a picture and leave it up there. Let's put our picture of me up there. Is there a way to go full screen without any of this green around it? Just like in the background. Open. Open. Come on, baby. Come on in. Come on in. Show up there, baby. There he is. That's me. That's me. We're going to do a little slideshow. Maybe we can do a slideshow. Do a little slideshow, baby. Welcome to my site. That's my Uncle Jerry. It's a letter from my grandma. That's Walter brass horn that I made. I play the organ. They had speakers originally. I put an actual horn on mine. Hey, what's the battle for? Even Christ was known. Hey, what's the battle for? Even Christ was known. Rolling back to run from hell, seeing that hell was inside me. Hey, I like to run that road, but weaving is all I see now. Hold on to a girl for about 10 years or so and put her out the pasture. Never could I arrange for the thing if she would be better with two masters under a Mother Nature cure. See if you could swing and see if you should blur, but hold on to one thing. See if you could go around running in the same. I'm sorry, baby, if I told you to eat my shit. And now I'm hovering in mortality. See if there's a pen pal with an ancient room. Now I'm stuck in this mortality. See if there's a pen pal with an ancient room. See those triangles, they're up in the sky. They say, greet my ships when you die. The joke's on you, you hover around the world. See it higher than you could ever know. See if you can swing, see if you should grow. See if they're going to throw you in a lake. Swim for your stake, and matriarchs repay. My mama said while eating a hot dog, my mama said, eating hot dogs. Oh, better understand, but you don't know why, but you don't know why. Even This could be done. He was running through the desert, and the desert was his home. Shooting time. Go ahead and try to find. Shooting time, shooting time. Go ahead and take his fight. Shooting time, shooting time. Go ahead and try to find it. Shooting time, shooting time. But they said you were a good player, so light my bone. Body's good. Your body feels fine. You're even on time for your shooting time. Up on the stage, they give you two names, two sides to every question, but that's okay. Got a simple kind of need, and it always starts with we. In my mind, oh, I said to the world, oh, I said to the world, oh, I said, you aren't so new. Give me one more day, so I never have to stay. Give me one more trial, so I'll never need denial. Oh, my love to the people, show my butt to the steeple. Got one thing that I know is true. I bore another child, and he might just look like you. Not a mistake in this world. No, not a mistake in this world. Got one thing left in this world. You calm your ass down and give it a whirl. Nothing is good as it gets through the hood. Nothing is safe if it goes down the drain. I recall that I tried it all. What's in a name? It's all crack cocaine. So it's shooting time. Shooting time, shooting time. Go ahead and take some of the fun. Shooting time, shooting time. Go ahead and take his fun. Shooting time, shooting time. Go ahead and take some of this fun. Shooting time, shooting time. But they said you were a good player, so light my bone. Body's good, your body's fine. You better get in line for another shooting time. spit letters in your hands, and then the fact of change, baby. LIVESTREAM. I got nothing to lose, but I got no confession. And change ain't no runaway. Any fucking religion. I can do anything, but I don't have time. Like to hear mommy crying out, bring me a beer. Hey, I never wanna know why she said I had to get off heroin someday. Keep it real low. What do you know? That peace was a good thing when I was 15. Now I got to hang around, eat my evil, share with the crowd. Under a Mother Nature blur, see if you could swim and see if you could swerve. But hold on to one thing, see if you should go around running in the safe crowd. I'm sorry, baby, if I told you to eat my shit. Nobody heard that anywhere in the world. It goes out to the world, but nobody's listening. Oh, is somebody here? Is somebody here? It can't be. I have a listener. I have a viewer. Oh, I have to say something. I can't end this live stream if I have a view. Oh my God. They left. Damn. Bye. Whoa, whoa, look at that. Wow, look at that. It's cursor popcorn. Cursor popcorn, cursor popcorn, cursor popcorn. Everybody, 6 feet of distance. 6 feet of distance. 6 feet of distance. Kids. 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 Well, I guess I'm alone again. Sucks. Well, end the stream.